What's going on, y'all? How's it going? Um, yeah, one second. Totally forgot to close out of this stuff. Today is the stream number 6. I see that there's already quite a few of you guys here watching me. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We're gonna be doing some stuff with Circuit Dude today, and of course, like always. Oh my gosh. All right. Hopefully, it doesn't do that again. Okay, so if you look at the background, it's a little bit different this time, and that's because my apartment is like they're doing some major construction there. It's terrible, awful. I can't sleep, and so I'm moving. And in the meantime, I'm staying with a friend. She's graciously let me set up. I don't know how our internet's going to be, so I don't know what kind of latency or if I'm going to drop some frames or not, but should be fine. Let's see. So today, like always, we're going to be working on Circuit Dude, like I said. And today, I want to show you where we're at with this. I feel totally underprepared for this because nothing's opened on my computer. I just turned it on. Had to close out of some stuff. Let's see. Let's get our emulator running real quick. And then I'll go over here and I'll open up VS Code. Let's see if the application is still loaded here. Nope, it's not. Okay. Projects, Circuit Dude, start. Righty. I'll move it over to the emulator real quick. So, last time what did we do last time? I can't even remember. Last time I was really sleepy. Felt like I didn't get a whole lot done. We were able to draw all the bitmaps in a level to make the level draw properly. And then we tried to work a little bit with reading the binary data, the level as binary data. But it wasn't working properly. I do have it kind of working. Let's see. And you guys might be interested to see how that works. And I'll go ahead and show you, but I think and map current level. Current level is 0. What? I think I need to recompile this. I think this is an old version that's running. So let me recompile it with hspc circuit dude .pause. All right, let's see if that works. Okay, perfect. I was just kind of running an old version. So if you look here, the Circuit Dude version that we're running on this emulator looks exactly the same as we left off, but now we're loading a .dat file right here. I went ahead and I took all the levels from Circuit Dude that are in decimal format, and I converted them to hexadecimal. And then I found a great website where I could convert the hexadecimal string to a binary file, and instead of using like some sort of hex editor. So I have this file here, the levels.dat, and in this RCP file, which is like the resource file, I have here this keyword data, which is kind of like the bitmap family or icon family or something. It specifies the type of data that's going to follow, and data just means like anything, and junk is like junk data, literally any kind of data, binary data. And then the resource is res levels, which is equal to, I think, 1010. Yeah, up here 1010. So we have that. And of course the file name levels.dat. So in our Circuit Dude, we're able to use, whenever we initialize the game, I create a memory handle, and it grabs a resource for the junk data type, I guess, just literally any kind of data, with the resource of a 1010. And if the resource is found, we go ahead and we create a pointer to it with this level data pointer. And I'll show you what that looks like in a second. And then we just kind of step through each level, and then each level has 70 bytes associated with it. And we step through each byte, and we take the data at the pointer and put it into the 2D array for the levels. And then this walk function is the same function that I wrote last time. I think I may have modified it a little bit. It's up here at the top. That is basically, it gets the pointer and it increments the pointer by 1. So super simple, super easy. And current level is 0 after the initialized array, and we expand the map at 0, and that decompresses the data and puts it into our current map 2D array that's used down here to draw. So pretty straightforward with that. I also wrote a pin down event as well, where you tap and it increases the current level, and then it tries to expand the map at current level. So in theory, what should happen is the level is drawn, and then whenever you click, it increases the level by 1, and it should be drawn immediately again. So if I show you how that works, I'll go ahead and pull up the emulator and give it a little click, and this is definitely not what level 2 looks like. So I'm not quite sure why, but if I cycle through these are off by something. There's some kind of data that is missing, some sort of offset. Because if I click it a few more times, you can see this version of the level that kind of looks like it might be a level, but not really. I click one more time, that's ugly as well. Another time, and another time. Now this looks very similar to Circuit Dude level, I think 3, or no, 6. Yeah, 6. Or is it 5? Something like that. I think 6. And the level is drawn perfectly except for the leftmost column is missing completely, and the rightmost column is actually, I think, pulled from the next level. So what this means is my walk function in some ways broken. I'm iterating through, and I think I'm missing probably an entire byte somewhere whenever I'm scrolling through. And eventually every 5 levels, that 5 bytes equals to 8 tiles. Eventually I somehow catch up, and my offset happens to land on a full column, and it's drawn properly with that extra column. And to kind of confirm my theory, if I push it a few more times, 5 more levels, I should see a well-drawn level except for an extra column from the next level included into it. So I'll go ahead and try that real quick. And did I click enough? Huh. No, I don't think so. Or maybe I did. Well, it should happen every 5 levels. So this one does look like it's more familiar to me, but I think it's right here is the cutoff on this column. So needless to say, there's some sort of offset that's being introduced or not being considered for this. So we can kind of look through that today and try to figure out what that is. But what might be better is to do something more exciting and take these tiles that are static and go through and animate them. Some of the levels are completely static, like the first level, until you step on the exit. But if you go through and you land on a conveyor belt, of course these conveyor belts are supposed to move. So let's go ahead and look at how we can do that. I think if we have a level where every single tile is changing every turn, every time you go through the loop, the main loop, I think it'll slow the Palm Pilot down drastically, and I don't really want to do that. So we have to figure out a clever way to save resources. And I think what I want to do is at the beginning of the level, draw every single static tile, but only update the levels that or only update the dynamic tiles every loop. And then of course, if Circuit Dude moves over a tile, we want to redraw that tile too, because we don't want to somehow preserve in the buffer his drawing itself. So we'll go ahead and try to do something like that, and then we'll cycle through the levels, even though it'll be broken, and see something like this where the conveyor belt's moving. Tariq, hey man, appreciate you stopping by my stream again. I really appreciate that. Ever since I switched to this apartment a few days ago, it's been awesome. Like I was able to sleep well without getting interrupted by the construction early in the morning, and my other apartment, they have like holes in the wall, so I haven't been having a good few weeks. But you know, at the end of this week, I get to move to a new apartment, and hopefully everything will be fantastic from there. So. Another thing that we might want to do real quick is just kind of center this level. I don't really like that it's up in the top left. So we can go ahead and do that real quick. Galactic Disc Cat, I appreciate you stopping by, man. Thanks for checking it out. Okay, so I have here this drawing code. It's in main right now, but I want to go ahead and move this out a little bit to its own function, its own procedure. So I'll just call it procedure, let's see, draw map. And I don't know what kind of R's it's going to have yet. I'll skip that for now. And I'll begin that block. And I forget if we have to use the parentheses or not, but we'll see whenever we compile it if there is an error or not. And to offset the level to the middle of the screen, let's go ahead and calculate that with this initialize procedure I did earlier. But let's create a variable for it and call it map x offset. Make it an integer. I wish I could just set it right here, but initialize. All right, here we go. I think there's a constant for figuring out the size of the screen, but for now, let's just kind of hard code that in. So to get the center of the map, like we don't want the middle point of the map. It would look like this if it was. It would be 144 divided by 2. That would get the center of the map, but we want to actually draw the map not at the center. We want to draw it a little bit over to the left. So that'll be the size of the screen cut in half minus the size of the map, which is 8 tiles by 14 tiles, or 8 pixels with 14 tiles wide. So that's what that would look like. And for the map Y offset, we don't need to center this one, I guess, but let's just do 40. And then we'll take these offsets and we'll include them in the draw map function down here. Map x offset. So, like I said, I'm staying with some friends right now, and they're actually talking in the other room. So let me know if you can hear them. I think the the microphone should be set up to where you where that's filtered out. Just let me know if that's too loud for you. Galactic Discat. By the way, you're the reason why we're using Pascal right now for this project. I had no idea that we could use it. It turned out to be pretty easy to get going. Documentation was seemingly limited, but we ended up finding a good amount of resources for it. And I'll refer to some of that later, I think. I don't think I need variables for draw map. We'll keep it like this for now. And let me go ahead and recompile this. I think I might get an error because I might be missing parentheses. Oh, type mismatch. 7175. Okay, this might be some sort of, the preprocessor might be interpreting this as a float of some sort. So I'll just go ahead and toss this into a calculator and do it that way. And we'll use Chrome as a calculator real quick. -40. That's definitely not right. 144 divided by 2 is 72. Oh, that's right. This needs to be divided by 2 as well. So, let's do, there we go, 16. So the offset is 16, it looks like. Here and compile, see what happens. 195. Oh yeah, forgot. Okay. So we went ahead and compiled it. Let's make sure it just kind of is in the center of the screen now. Okay. Actually, I think the screen might be 160 pixels wide, not 144. I may be mistaken. So let's do that. 24. Go ahead and there we go. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. So what we were doing before is we were making sure that the map to draw it is not equal to blank, because if it's equal to blank, we don't want to waste time drawing nothing here. But Circuit Dude, our character, he's supposed to be able to move around the screen, so we really don't need to draw the starting point for this either. So we'll also include that as well. But let's see. Can you do this? Let's see if we can combine these together. Syntax error. Is it 2? Ooh. Okay, guys. The camera is having some problems again. I'll try to come up with a long-term fix for this before next stream. But it's a little fragile. Okay. Oh, the keyword and. I think the keyword and is a. I think the keyword and is for bitwise and. But we can try that. Oh, than expected. The whole thing in brackets. I'm gonna try parentheses actually and see what happens. Nope. Wait. Okay. Let's go ahead and pull up the documentation for this too. And over here in this new window, I'll go ahead and open VS Code again. And I'll open the documents that we have for HS Pascal. Interesting. Hey, Pipe Warp. It looks like and is being found in all of these different. Oh, look at that. If and then. I don't know why that wouldn't work. I'm gonna move these around a little bit. Let's see. All right, there we go. And 204. It is have the problem here. Raj, I think you might be right that we have to put these in parentheses. Okay. So it's not drawing blank, it's not drawing the start position anymore, which is good. But we do want circuit dude to be drawn. So we do want Circuit Dude to be drawn still. We just don't want him to be drawn as part of the map. We want him to be able to move about independently. So I'm going to make another procedure called Draw Dude. And we'll go ahead and begin it, end it, and draw bitmap pointer, blocks, start, I think we called it. And instead of X and Y, we'll call it dude X and dude Y. And dude X and dude Y will be defined up here as like global variables. And then whenever we load the map, when we do expand map, we want to figure out where he's at in the map. So we'll make a new procedure and call it load level. I'll take a level as an integer, and it will just call expand map. And we'll also iterate through and find Circuit Dude at this point. So just for notes, put that right there. And instead of anytime calling expand map, as we currently do, let's just say load level. We'll want that expand map in its own procedure later whenever we are working with custom levels. So let's see. If we're loading this into current map, maybe load level needs to also set current level. And we'll use this later on, probably. So how far am I with the game? Siegfried Cross, if you check underneath me, and that right below me, there's a progress bar underneath all my social media links, and that'll tell you generally how far I am. So I think I'm about 20% through. Drawing the map and getting started, I think, was a huge chunk of it. Loading the binary data too. Right now, I think we're working on animating and kind of drawing the level a little bit more dynamically than we were. And then once we get done with that, we should be able to move on to gameplay. So I think gameplay will take about 50% of the code, 50%, and probably 10% will be menus and stuff. So I think 20% is probably a good evaluation right now. By the way, speaking of what's down there, if you're interested in following along, go ahead and subscribe on YouTube. Right now, if you're missing anything, you can always go back to the previous videos that are uploaded there, like videos on demand pretty much. I also have stuff on Twitch and Mixer, but there's nothing that's like clipped there, I don't think, and there's nothing that's recorded and uploaded there. It's just another streaming platform. So I simultaneously stream to YouTube, Twitch, and Mixer. So if you're interested, whatever platform you use, go ahead and follow me on that to keep up with my streams. My goal is to stream Sunday night, Tuesday night, and Thursday night at 7:30 Central Time. So wherever you're at in the world, you're going to have to come up with some sort of conversion to figure out what time it is for you. But 7:30 Central Time, 3 nights a week. And I plan on doing that until I get this game done too. So hopefully once we get past all the initial like weirdness of learning a new language and learning a new platform, hopefully the gameplay stuff will just like zoom straight through. So we were loading the level and expanding the map. And after we expand the map, we're going to go ahead and go through, loop through the map itself. Similar to how we draw it, to figure out where Circuit Dude's supposed to start. Now there's only one starting point, luckily, so we can just jump out after we do that. And similar to drawing, we'll create some local variables. So if current map equals start, then we're going to do something specific here, which is set dude x to be x and dude y to be y. And I'm going to just take these local variables and put them up there real quick. Okay, so we go through, we figure out where dude is, and I'm not super sure how we do it in this language, but if you want to break out of a for loop, we should need a break, but I'm not sure what it is. Okay. Well, we actually want to break out. So what? How do you return this through the statement? We want to return, right? Is it exit? Exit current subroutine. So procedure exit. Let's see. Example begin. I think that's probably right. So we want to exit instead of breaking out. We don't want to continue going through this loop. Perfect. So when we draw map, remember we're not drawing, but we are drawing dude here. But we're not doing it anywhere else. We're just doing draw map. So we got to also include draw dude. And eventually these functions or procedures are going to be moved out into their own location. Just compile this and just make sure it runs. We should see Circuit Dude back here, but we ran into an issue on line 48. Unknown identifier 48.5. Oh, it's because load level references a function below it, so the compiler doesn't know about it yet. So some languages, they'll actually, for instance, in load level, if I want to call expand map, expand map has to be defined before I call it, but some languages like JavaScript, what they do is they hoist up the function, they find the declaration for it, and move it to the top of the function of the interpreter, and pretty much learn about that function before actually ever calling it, so it knows it exists. Right now, Pascal doesn't seem to do that. All right, let's go ahead and drop it in. There we go. And so in theory, we can move dude X around, dude Y around to draw circuit dude in a different location. So we've got that working. But there becomes a problem where there's so many different tiles in this game. We can't just keep adding more and more ands to this if statement. It'll become cumbersome to look at, and I think there's even a line limit in Pascal. So we're gonna have to do some sort of switch statement here. And I think switch statements are really bizarre in Pascal. I think it looks something like this: case of something or another, and then you define what happens. I think they might have a default case, and that's what we're going to actually use to normally draw for the static stuff. Otherwise, we don't want to draw them. We want to do a dynamic draw, and eventually we can just take this out and have two draw map functions: one, draw the static map, and then two, to draw the animating sprites. Katsuragi, how's it going, man? How's it going, dude? Okay, let's see if we can find the case statements here. Page 25. Here we go. Case statement equals case expression of. So case next symbol of, and then it has the cases itself. So it's very similar to a switch statement, but I don't know where the ending is. Where does it end? At the word end? And else is the default? Okay. Cool. Let's try that. So we're looking here at current map. So case current map of, and if it's blank, we'll do something. If it is start, we'll do something. Otherwise, we will do this. And I think we could do a continue statement. Yeah, highlighted, so I think we can do that. So let's try to make sure this compiles. And nope, it didn't. So 230. What's on 230? Error in expression. So case current map of, case month of. Oh, that's cool. You can do a comma to do multiple different values. Just double check with another website real quick. Ugh. Alright, sorry about that camera thing. Alright, so we're getting some sort of error here. Oh, I think it's because I don't need a colon. $241, expecting a semicolon. Really? Excuse me. Let me get some water real quick. I wonder if this end is throwing it off a little bit. I'll try that. Nope. 238. Still having the same problem. Oh. When I typed else, begin automatically was thrown in there. Yeah, but it's not in the documentation, so that's kind of weird. But I appreciate that, Raj. I love how you pick up on these things so quickly. It's been a real big help, for real. All right, so Circuit Dude is drawn again. Doesn't look any different except for he's there, and we have a little bit different version of our draw code. We could for later on have something like this. When we load our level, we have draw map static, and we'll go through and draw everything, and we'll use the draw map to draw the dynamic tiles. And if that's what we're doing, then for something like what is it called? Con D. Con D is like the conveyor belt that goes downward. We would draw the map, draw the bitmap. Instead of con D, we would draw basically a different bitmap pointer. So which one would we do? We would do conveyor belt. We would have some sort of array right here. And I'm thinking if we have multiple conveyor belt directions, which we do, instead of having the draw bitmap pointer redefine multiple locations, or not redefine, reuse multiple locations, and map offset used, we can just instead do this. Have a single point, or a single a function call, and instead of looking up in blocks every single time, we'll just say we'll use a local variable here, and we'll call it let's just call it tile, and tile will be a pointer. I forgot what it's called. Bitmap pointer. Yeah, so that's what we'll be doing. And for here, we can say that tile is going to be this tile. And for conveyor belt down, in theory, we'll have another array that holds all the conveyor belts. So let's just say like conveyor belts at con D, whatever that might be. In theory, if we have that, right? Let's see, one more time. I'm gonna try to fix this camera. Oh, there we go. All right, so that seems like a plan. Sorry that I'm also eating a salad real quick. I'm very hungry. And I'm trying to be healthy for once. I can't go get a milkshake every time I stream. So, one more thing that we got to think about is, with Circuit Dude, this game updates. On the Arty Boy, we can count how many frames we go through and draw different stuff on different frames to draw animations. So the dynamic maps need to be able to access some sort of variable that holds information about what frame they're on. So the conveyor belt, if we draw it with an array, that's just not going to be good enough. We want to actually like iterate through an array of animations as well. So we could say something like frame right here and have a 2D array of these bitmaps. So to make this frame, sorry, let me include that. To make this this frame variable, we'll have to make a global variable that's accessible everywhere. And initialize. And we'll just set frame to equal 0. And I know that the compiler probably will do that by default, but other systems, if we take this code and put it onto like an HP Jornada or something later on, it might not. So let's just be safe and make sure we're not reading any leftover data from some other program or elsewhere in memory, some garbage data. So we have frame here, and we draw the map currently every frame inside of this repeat loop. So we can go ahead and increase frame here as well. And now we have access to that, but we want to limit frame to something. And I've already done this before on the Arty Boy, so I know what number I want to use. But if frame is going to be over 8, no, greater than or equal to 8, then frame is going to be 0. There we go. Except one more thing, I want to have a procedure here, and I'll call it main loop. Or actually, maybe I'll call it gameplay. Yeah, gameplay. And this will be the gameplay loop. It'll handle the frame stuff, it'll handle the drawing stuff. And inside of the main procedure, we'll have, you know, all the system stuff like events, stuff like that. All right, so we use frame up here in this conveyor belts array. Let's go ahead and work on a 2D array for those conveyor belts. For now, I'll just kind of comment this out. But let's look at blocks real quick and see where we define them. And make another array, conveyor belts. There's 4 of them, and there's four animations, or 4 frames of animation each. And these will all be bitmap pointers as well. And then for blocks, another place we use it is over here. And we'll actually need to set all of the values in conveyor belts here. So con D, for instance, or down. One of the things that I did here in Circuit Dude for the Arty Boy was actually make a directional a definition, a macro, pretty much. You can think of it like a constant in Pascal. But I made these directions so I could tell what direction circuit_do was moving in, but also I can use them for these kinds of arrays as well. So down would be 0. Actually, up is 0. Up, down, left, right. Kind of like the Konami code. That's how I remember it. So up, down, left, and right. Let's go up here, and I think we can set constants in high-speed Pascal. I know we were having some problems before, but I want to double check. So up is going to be integer as 0. Down is also an integer as 1. Now left. So that, I think, should work. We should be able to do this, remove that code, and just compile to make sure that I wrote that properly. And I did not. Okay, so I think these as's need to be equal signs. Nope, 42. Let's see what this looks like. Identifier equals constant. Well, I guess I don't need to put integer. Oh yeah, that's right. It's because these are basically the same exact thing as writing define up 0, except for it adds that in and puts a constant in front of it because of define. Okay, so that makes sense. Let's put the in the initialized code, let's put this stuff back for the conveyor belts. And kind of like what we did up here for bitmap pointer, we will, if we were doing a single value for the conveyor belts, a single frame, it would be something like this, right? Res con u for the conveyor belt up. But we're only going to have 4 frames of animation. So we have to do this. And individually define what these are. Which means, unfortunately, I'm going to have to look at my circuit_do code. Not code, but images from the BitBoy version. I think I threw them away too. Oh, maybe I didn't just throw them away. I think I might have. Nope, I did. Okay, I'll just put it here. BitBoy. Oh wait, actually, I take that back. Let's do this. I know where I put this. I know where I put this. Projects, retro. This is the BitBoy version of the game. I also put it on the LDK game, as well as the what's it called? The Pocket Go. And I have a different process for putting the graphics data in this because they had multiple color palettes. But where's it at? Ooh, okay. Source. Sound effects. Where are the images at? I did this in the last stream. I was able to find the circuit dude stuff from my last game. I mean, for my last computer. It's not in here, is it? Conv.bmp, where did I put this at? Did I not? Did I just drag these over from the USB? Give me 1 second to look to see if I have that USB stick again, because I might not. Oh, I don't think I do. Why would I? Oh wait, nope, that's a battery cover. No, I do. I got it. So they should have the Arty Boy version. That's what it was. The Arty Boy version saved on here. All the source code, all the graphics files I had for it, all right here. So I'm gonna drag this to my desktop again. Let's take a look in here, and I should find a sprite sheet for the tiles. So this is what we used last time. This file right here. And conveyors, perfect. So I'll put this in here. So we're gonna actually have to slice this apart into BMPs. We did that last time, and it was kind of annoying because we had to save them with a certain format in Paint. But I'll go ahead and just use Photoshop to do this. So again, once we slice them into BMPs, we can load them with the resource file and put them into the 2D array and then iterate through them with the frame variable. Okay, there we go. We want the width to be 8, height to be 8, color mode to be bitmap, and 1 bit. So this is the up button, and we will save as. Actually, maybe we won't do that, just because we have the. I think we have the first frame of these already. You know what? It doesn't hurt. I'll save them all again. Projects. Palm, circuit dude, tiles. So for the Arty Boy, actually I had a a website that I made, a web tool, where I can upload images, PNGs, and it'll properly convert them to the hexadecimal code in C++. I can just copy and paste and put them into my games. But this is going to be a little bit different conversion process in that. So let's see. Oh, what the heck? Whenever I save it, it locks that layer. What's going on? Oh, I think it's because it... Frick. I hate this. I don't really have a lot of control over here in Photoshop. So here's the second. And we'll save this as con up 2. No, 1, technically. Let's get the next one. And this one too, because it's index of 2. And then con up 3 right here. And I won't bore you with watching the rest. We can go ahead and, now that we have a full animation set of conveyor, at least in one direction, we can go ahead and toss them into this RCP. And what I'm going to do is just duplicate these lines here. One, two, three, 4. So 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3. Oh, 4, shoot. 3. I don't need to duplicate the button one. Okay, for the animations, I'm just going to make it easy and change this real quick. There we go. Should be good enough. And we don't need to do multiple buttons. And we're only doing up. So I'm going to go ahead and comment this one out, and this one out. So for frame 1, and for frame 2, and then for frame 3. There we go. And like earlier I said, 1, 2, 3. I'll comment this stuff out too. And it should compile, but because I've modified the resource file, I'll also have to do this, compile the resources together. I think it's like that. Circuit do.rpc, or is it RCP? Yeah, RCP. Oops, circuit dude res, because it's a resource. It seemed like it worked. Now let's compile this circuit dude.pas. Line 2, 10 has an issue. Oh, okay. I think I know what the issue is. So I also have to define them in here. Down, left, right, and up. Res 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. Oh, gee, I forgot. 1 is here, 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 here. 2, 2. So this is probably the most boring part, is these number changes, but kind of trying to take a shortcut real quick. You don't have to get bored of it too much. And this is actually, I think, all of them that I need to do for all of the conveyor belts. And yeah, that might be all I need to do. Let's check it out. Excellent, it worked. Just gonna run this real quick. We shouldn't see any kind of changes or differences. Okay. But we did want to use this in right here in the draw map function. The first one we did was up. We didn't do down. For some reason I was thinking down was the first one. So this is what it would look like if we only wanted to draw the first tile. But we're actually going to do this. We're going to do frame right here. Frame, remember, goes up to 8. There's only 4 frames of animation though for the conveyor belt. So we're going to have to either divide it by 2, or we're going to have to use modulus for it by 2, which is, just for sanity check, 1 mod, what is it, 8? No, 8 mod 2. Okay. 1 mod 2, 2 mod 2, 3 mod. Okay, so 1. Okay. That's right, that's right. I don't want to do 2, I want to do 4. That's what we want. That's what we want. Alright, so let's fire this up. Oh, okay, so I don't think it understands the percent sign. So I think it's mod. That might be the operator. Perfect. Alright, so now what we have to do is we have to go through and find a level that uses the up conveyor belt. But because the levels aren't being drawn past level 1 properly, that might be easier said than done. And I think I already saw one. Oh, we can see it right here. See how it has this, like, a sad face? It's actually kind of funny. You might not be able to see too well, but they briefly show the original up conveyor belt, and then it quickly gets drawn on top of itself. You see it move a little bit? So I think what we need to do, instead of mod 2, I'll do divide 2. That might help us see it a little better. Oof, okay. Div 2, or div 4. Div 2. Div 2, div 2, div 2. So the up isn't moving at all right there, it looks like. You see him move for a moment though. You do. I wonder what's up with that. Let's just do frame. I hope it's not because of this. And then we set it up to 4 frames. This really should go through. Ooh. Yeah. This really should look right. Doesn't. It briefly animates. Briefly animates, but then stops. Let's look at conveyor belts one more time. Let me make sure I accidentally didn't overwrite the data. That's totally possible. Totally possible. Yeah, it looks like I properly draw them. Here, 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 and here. You know, I did have a problem before compiling multiple times. And for some reason, things aren't cleared. Some stuff is cached for some reason. So let me just recompile this. Unable to, okay. Let me recompile the resources 2 more times, and then I'll compile the game a few more times. See if anything changes. And no, for some reason, frame changes, but only briefly. Only briefly. I wonder if initialize is running. Let's see, where's it at? In our main loop, we have this repeat function. I wonder if there's some sort of waiting involved. Oh, here we go. Yeah, wait forever. Yeah, so it's waiting while we're looking for an event. So I think I need to change this to 0. Or let's look for more examples of when people use that. We did talk about it last time a little bit. There we go, sys ticks per second. So that's probably as fast as it can go at the normal frame rate. Wow. I don't know if this is as fast as it can get. That is really, really slow. Do you see that moving? I don't even know if you can. Magnifying glass? This is so slow. It is pretty beautiful though. Okay, so what I'm gonna do for now is run to the bathroom real quick, and then I'll be right back, and we'll continue working on this stuff. I think we're gonna have to look into ways of speeding this up slightly, but it does prove that the animations work. I think if we replace some of the code with, instead of drawing every single tile, we only draw the dynamic tiles, I think it could speed this up a little bit more. I'm not sure if it's the hardware that can't accept it, or if it's the language and how it's compiled, or maybe it's just going slow on the emulator. But I'm going to go ahead and use the bathroom, and then we'll come back. We'll be able to mess with that. So I'm going to just leave you on this beautiful animation while I go. Thanks. Okay, I'm back. So actually, whenever I was in college, I was doing a radio show for the university, and we also did like a TV program too. And the university basically said, if you ever have dead air, like, you can get in serious trouble. And what they meant by dead air is like nobody's talking, no music's playing. Usually it's from a technical difficulty, but like if you have a radio show where you're just talking for an hour, and you can't think of anything cool or funny to say, or the conversation dies, then people might tune into your radio station, think that there's nothing there, and then tune out. So I guess I learned to like apologize anytime there's going to be a brief moment of silence. But thanks for checking out my stream, guys, and sticking with it. I appreciate it. So we got animations working to some degree. Super slow. Let's see what happens if we break out the dynamic levels, the dynamic tile drawing and the normal tile drawing. And so we'll have two procedures, like I said earlier. We'll have a draw map static and draw map dynamic. Now this actually might not be such a great idea, because having two loops inside of each other, two for loops, can be cumbersome on the processor. But I'm sure that drawing to the screen is way worse. So this might be the best solution that we have. Oh, and actually we're not going to be doing it every single time. So So for static stuff, we just want to draw it a single time. Draw current map. I guess we can draw everything. Yeah, I guess we can draw everything for static map just one time. And then for drawing the dynamic map, we won't have this else statement. I think we need the end statement, however. So and then whenever we draw something, well, actually, let me go down here. What we're doing now is we have this gameplay loop, and we also have this erase triangle thing where we erase part of the screen. But what we're doing is we're erasing the entirety of the screen. We don't want to necessarily do that. We want to erase only the part that we are redrawing. And so I think this is probably also going to take up a lot of resources. And then if we draw a static map and then a dynamic map and then erase everything with this rectangle, erase rectangle function, we're going to erase our static map, which defeats our purpose. We only want to draw the static map one time. We want to redraw the dynamic map multiple times. Tariq, my radio show was like NPR style. It was like news. I would talk about politics and the economy and current events and different aspects of, you know, inventions, and I don't know. It was just about random stuff, and I would basically interview a different person every single episode and get their thoughts on, you know, whatever their topic is, whatever their profession is, and then also how that relates to current events. So it was just kind of a talk show about, you know, the intersection of society and government and economics and politics and all that stuff. So we also have here this rect set rectangle, and what this is doing is it's creating a rectangle with these parameters and putting it into this rectangle object. We're going to need to do something similar whenever we erase stuff up here in the dynamic map. So let's go ahead and figure out where the screen object is initiated. Right here. And draw map dynamic. Let's throw that in here too. Instead of screen, we can call it eraser, because that sounds cool. And so if we find a tile here, we're going to continue if it doesn't need to be drawn again. Actually, let's see. What we can do is we can loop, go through this case and find all the cases that are dynamic. And if it's not dynamic, then we can continue to go through the loop. That way we can draw whatever we want right here and basically only draw the dynamic stuff. But then we also want to use eraser to erase whatever was previously drawn. So we're going to have to set eraser and then use it all in the same call. My theory is that this might speed things up a little bit, but not a whole bunch. But I hope a lot. So the width of this is going to be 8, the height 8, and the location is going to match exactly what it would be for the tile that we're about to draw. So we erase and then we draw one more time. Now this might be an issue whenever we have Circuit Dude stepping over static maps, but I'm not too worried about that. Instead of redrawing the entire screen every single time we do a loop, let's go ahead and just erase the entire screen every time that we load a new level. So up here in load level function procedure, I mean to say, we load this map data, and we can go up here and erase the map with it. And at the beginning of our function, our main function, it looks like we set the rectangle to the screen size, but we can go ahead and do that in the initiate procedure. Seems like it's more suited for that area. And in fact, we have up here a whole bunch of tiles being defined. And you can see how this is going to get just really big real fast as we include more animations. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that and try to put it in here. Let's see, I think I can do this. Initialize resources. I think this could work, and if it does, that'll be super helpful. And when we initialize all this stuff, we'll initialize the resources too before loading the level. Eventually, we will want to take this load level out of right here, and we'll load the level as we go through the menus and stuff and start the gameplay. So let's see if this works. 265. Unknown identifier, draw map. Oh yeah, because we're going to draw the map one time and then draw the dynamic map after that. Which might, actually this might suck a little bit for us because, oh actually, no it doesn't. We'll always be drawing the map dynamically, but when we load the level, that's when we'll start to draw the map a static, non-moving, non-animating parts of the map. Down here. Draw map static. Alright, now let's try to run it again and see what happens. 102. So load level looks like it's referencing it. Expand map. It needs to be after the draw maps so that it can reference draw map static. That's an easy fix. Line 152 or 151. Oof. So it looks like initialize needs load level, which is just moved down, which means I'm going to have to also move down. I'll put this right here, right above main. I think that's where it used to be. 134. Handle event. Circuit dude res implementation expected at 92. I bet this is the issue that we're having. Yeah. I don't think we can implement this function over here. It looks like this is all kind of consolidated and encapsulated. So it can't reference global variables in this file, in the main file. So unfortunately, we'll have to put it here. $258. $258 at letter 5. It doesn't know about blocks? Oh, for some reason it was able to compile that time. Okay. Ooh. It looks like it's moving about the same speed. So the reason why it started out as orange is I think because I didn't ever clear the screen. So I went ahead and moved that as well to main. But it's so slow. I wonder if ticks per second, I've seen this used before differently. Like right here, divided by 2. If I divide it by 2, would that... That would make it slower. That's like having a... Instead of every tick per second, every 2 ticks per second. No, every tick per 2 seconds. So maybe I can divide by 2. Or, I'm sorry, multiply by 2. Wait, divide by 2? Okay. Let's just try running it real quick. See if it makes it faster or not. It does seem faster. It does seem faster. So instead of dividing by 2, let's divide by 4. Maybe ticks per second is set to like 1. So it moves once every second. Dividing it by 4 might be like 4 frames a second. 8 frames a second if we do 8. Let's do 8 and see what happens. Okay, that's a lot faster. That's a lot faster. I don't really see a whole lot of stuttering. You can see right here, this one is like popping in and out. I'm sure there's a cleaner way to speed the processing up a little bit. Hmm. 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 So it moves pretty nice and pretty well. But I don't know why it's not loading necessarily the first level properly. I thought we'd fix that, but apparently not. It's not drawing the static map, I don't think, until I click. So draw static, no, map static. And that happens when you load a level. Oh wait, but you load we're loading a level whenever we initialize everything, which we don't want to do, because then we immediately afterwards clear the screen. So we want to I guess load level up here is fine after the erase. Hmm. Hmm. I think we made pretty good progress so far. It's only 9 o'clock. Load level. What if I don't erase the screen? What happens then? Still doesn't draw the initial stage. Oh, I see. Load level is being called right here after erasing the screen. I erase the screen again, and then draw the static map. Oh, did I name these incorrectly? Hmm. No, I did. I named them perfectly fine. Hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, I think the animations are okay how they are, as long as I keep that in mind that I, for some reason, aren't able to draw I'm not able to draw the first level. But if I'm gonna go ahead and move on to drawing or iterating through and looping through the other levels like I've wanted to do for a while, and I at least need to have one working, right? So let's try to get this fixed real quick. gameplay. By the way, we could also go ahead and change the frame count from 4 to 8. And then up here, I guess divide that by 2. Because there's certain stuff that we want to have happen faster than other stuff. For instance, moving, we basically want to take, well, move circuit dude 8 pixels, and we want the conveyor belt to move at the same speed, right? Huh. Let's see. That might have not have been a great explanation, but when we get to that part, you'll see. Yeah, try this. Because they're all blinking. I think I'm going outside the bounds. Surely, okay, so frame is 0 to 8. I don't want to go into 8. I don't want my index to go up to 8. I mean, up to 7. I want it to go up to 4. And then go back down. I can actually see what I did over here with conveyor belts. Conveyors divided by 3. No, I did do something a little bit different, but for the teleportation blocks, did animation divided by 4. Well, I'll worry about that later. I'll just do 4 for now, so it's continuous. So it's a continuous animation. There we go. And I was wanting to experiment a little. I want to see how fast this can go. What if we do 16 instead of 8 frames per second? Or system ticks, whatever you want to call it. Oh, wow. That's very fast. That's impressive how fast that is, actually. I didn't think it would be that fast. There's still a little bit of, like, looping in and out, I guess, for lack of a better word. Popping in and out. Okay, let's slow this down a little bit. Let's do 12. You can see how much faster it moves actually on levels with fewer dynamic tiles. Both seems to be a happy median. we're going to be doing a lot more stuff, so it'll just artificially be lowered just because of how much more stuff is going to be in the I mean organically be slowed. Be slowed. Be slown. Lowered. Okay. Sorry, my head's still a little bit messed up. Dealing with way too much stress. This is actually a really good escape for me. Get away from it. And we're making good progress today. Making good progress today. But we do want to load the very first level. So load level. Current level equals level. Wait a minute, the only time I use current level is here? Current level, integer, current level equals level. Why is it not drawing? Yeah, I feel like I'm a little stuck right here. Where is initialize called? Before main is ever even called. So expand map is just taking the level data and purely putting it into current map. Oh, but you know what? I'm realizing that when I go through these levels, there's sometimes it looks like some tiles are drawn over other tiles for some reason. See if I can find an example. Maybe that might offer a clue. You think it could be the blanks? Let's check. Right here. So it looks like we're only erasing stuff if we don't continue. But we can test that real quick by getting rid of that. Yep. And you can see how these conveyor belts instantly turn black because they're being drawn over each other. Or I should say white. Let's just look for all the erase examples or calls. So in main, we do it when we start, which should make sense. maybe clear screen is not working between level draws. That's what Raj says. You mean level loads? Load level right here? Maybe this isn't working? Let's try commenting out, see what happens. That's awesome. That's really cool, but not what we want. So we are erasing everything. But it's not erasing. Getting rid of this doesn't help the first level, which is what we're trying to narrow down. Yeah, so if I'm let's just get rid of the when erase rectangle, see what happens. Yeah. We can also just try to get rid of all of them. See what happens with that. Yeah, that doesn't work. But I like the orange color a lot more than the the pink. The pink hurts my eyes. So nothing works for the first level. Is it because maybe current map is... I mean, no, I can't say current map is empty because it knows that circuit dude is right here, which means it finds the starting point. Unless I load level before I see, load level in main. I initialize everything right here. I could set current level to equal -1. Let's see what happens from there. Ooh, did you see that? So this is the first spot right here where the mouse is. The first tile in the game. If I don't do this weird stuff, is circuit dude loading right here where the mouse is, or right here where he's supposed to? Let's check that. He's right here. So he's loading in the right spot, which means that it knows about the level data. It's just not drawing the static map for some reason. So what are the requirements for drawing the map static? Draw map static. That is at the end of load level. Okay. And load level is there, there, and there. No, the off stream I actually switched the arrays to all have index 0 at the start. You can see that right here. Current map has 0, levels has 0. This is odd. This is odd. If we can get this working tonight, to draw properly for the first level and then loop through the levels, I'll go ahead and do all the animation sprites, which take a minute. It's kind of boring. I'll do that on my own. And after that, we should have like everything being drawn as if it were on the Arty Boy, minus the walls. I might do that on stream just because some people might find that interesting to have like block merging, but as it stands now, I think I'm just gonna do all the other tiles off stream. But that all depends on being able to draw the first level and then looping through the levels properly. Draw map static and draw map dynamic. Draw map dynamic, draw map static. Well, I guess we can do this instead of load level 0 right here. Might as well put it into this repeat. I mean, that's not, it might be slow, but it'll let us know if we're at least able to load the level and draw it. Because that's where the code kind of was earlier. Still didn't work. I wonder if perhaps it's waiting to maybe it's always waiting. Where am I drawing circuit dude at? Where do I call draw dude? In gameplay? So if I'm doing gameplay, I'm always drawing dynamic. I could just do draw map static here. See what happens. So the static map can be drawn in this gameplay loop. Or, yeah, I guess gameplay function procedure. So it needs to be drawn at least one time. Which means load level might not be drawing it. I'll draw it right after load level. See what happens. So that works, which means the load level is not drawing map static. Map. Yeah, I thought that was debunked too. So let's look into load level one more time. Oh. So this is the code. We have draw map static down here. What if I draw it twice? What if I draw it twice? Drawing it twice doesn't do anything. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I'm gonna write this code somewhere else. Like, it's not gonna stay here forever. So I might as well just draw the static map once right here, and then, you know, ignore it for a while until I actually have to worry about it. So let's do that. Ooh. 322. Yeah, it's not that big of a deal. I'll just ignore it for a while. Yeah, let's go ahead and try to load. Yeah. Huh, so there is actually an issue here. Let me try this. I'm loading level 0. Let's try loading level 5. Let's see what happens. So if I skip this and I draw from level 0 and then, you know, I'm sorry, if I don't skip going through the levels to get to level 5, it does not look like this. So somewhere, I'm not actually erasing anything. Erase rectangle. So I think this when erase rectangle isn't actually working for instead of load level, unless maybe it's setting a flag and the system erases everything before it's drawn to the screen while it's in the frame buffer, and maybe like locks those pixels from ever being drawn into them. Let's try switching back to 0 real quick. Pull the erase and draw map static into a separate function. And load level, we're talking about here, the erase and draw map static. Pull the erase and draw map static into a separate function. Okay. Actually, you know what? Why don't I do this? Instead of erasing the entire screen for draw map static, don't know why I didn't think of this. I don't need to do that. I just have an eraser that's the size of the entire screen, and I do that. I just erase it before drawing. I'll set eraser to be 14 tiles wide. times 8 pixels, and 8 pixels by 8 tiles tall. Let's see what happens. See, this is level 5 right here, how it has this up conveyor belt. It doesn't actually erase what's underneath it for some reason. So this is completely useless, it looks like. Well, actually, why is it... It seems like it's completely useless, but it's not. Let me just try running this one more time. So I removed completely the erasing from draw map. I mean from load level. So Raj, your hint about maybe pulling it into its own function with draw map static. But we can also do this too, right? I can set quit to true and load. Yeah, I can set quit to true inside of map draw static. And this will hopefully quit the game whenever I try to load it up. And it doesn't. It doesn't work. Which means that maybe draw map static isn't even being called on the first level. Draw map static. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. It's because load level is quitting, it's exiting as soon as it finds circuit dude. It's like I don't need him. Which means I need to draw the static map beforehand. That's right. I thought I was just breaking out. Perfect. So draws the map, scroll through these levels. Level 5 should work, so the next one should look still broken, but should look like it looked before. And perfect, it does. So we have it drawing the maps like we want them to. I don't need yeah, load level 0 is fine right there. I just need to figure out for some reason why I'm off by a byte when I'm walking through this level. I could do some simple math real quick to make sure that I've converted the levels properly. That may be the issue. But for the simple fact that the first level works perfectly fine, it makes me think that maybe the level data is fine too. And maybe I'm walking one step too many. So Raj, earlier we were talking a little bit about it. This is my code right here for looping through every level, every step. The step is basically 5. Ooh, keep shaking that. 5 bytes, I think, and that equals to 8 tiles. So each step could actually just be called a column, like that. Exactly, 5 bytes times 14. No, not column. Wait, yeah, no, there's 8 in each column, 5 bytes. Yeah, and there's 14 wide. So there's 14 columns, 8 rows. So not step, I'm sorry. This should not be columns, it should be rows, but I'm not going row by row. I'm going down a column, if that makes sense. So yeah, 14 rows, 5 columns. There's 8 rows, 14 columns. But yeah, anyways, yeah, that's fine. I don't think that's the issue. But I'm looping through, and I'm using this level data pointer, and I'm getting the value of it, and then I'm walking to the next step, and I'm going through, and I'm going through, and I'm going through, and I think the way it's acting, this is kind of what I think it would be doing. This is like, if I wanted to force this, this is how I would imagine this code would be looking. But I'm not doing an extra walk after every single level is loaded. So I'm not too sure where this where my data is being lost at. Huh. Anyways, the walk function is up here, I believe. Yeah, top to bottom, left to right per room, exactly. Yeah, sorry if I didn't make that too clear. I wonder what happens if I change p from a long int to an integer. Let's see what happens. Works. Okay, so that's not working. I don't think that's a valid address data type. Hmm. So yeah, well, like you said, walking is just incrementing the pointer by 1. So I don't know why we're getting that extra byte being lost. You know, it could be the converter. I'll go ahead and just reconvert all these levels from Circuit Dude on the Audio Boy over to that data file, and I'll try to figure out what's going on. I'll go through the whole process again and see if the sizes even match. So this is the levels array. All this. And I'll open a new page real quick on VS Code. Get rid of the comments. And then I'll swap out all the braces for brackets. And I'll wrap it all inside of one. Okay. Let's open up some Chrome tabs. Okay, var levels equals to this. Invalid destructuring of an element. Oh, forgot the extra opening. There we go. Okay, so I have levels stored in this JavaScript array, and I'll do levels.for each level. And then for every single level, actually I need a variable for the output too, for the output string. And then for each level, I have I'll call it the same thing. I'll call it a step, which is in this format is just a binary, just a decimal value. And you can see that here when I loop through. So it goes through every single level, every single step, and consoles it out. But I actually want to convert that. So to string 16 and output equals to tile. And while tile.length is less than 2, tile equals to 0 tile. So if you haven't watched me do this before, this is pretty much code I've written the other day to take all the decimal data, combine it after converting it to hexadecimal into one big string. So when I run it, this is what it looks like. I'll go ahead and copy this. And there's a great website where I can turn hexadecimal data to a binary file. But I'll probably try to use 2 different ones to make sure that it's working properly. So this file is let's see. This one's 512, and this one is the same exact size. Same exact size. And we can do some quick math real quick to figure out how big this should be. So if we have 8 tiles tall times 14 tiles wide, Okay, 5 divided by 8 is the compression ratio times, what was that, 112? 70. So 70 bytes per, and 70 times 75, 5250. So it looks like we are losing some data. Because this is 512 KB. Oh wait, look, here we go. 5250 bytes. The exact same size. It's the proper size. Let's try loading up, because maybe last time I wrote that script, I may have done something wrong. We'll put it into the resource and recompile the PRC and throw that in there. Still not working. Should be able to write each value as a byte. Instead of it compressing it, Raj, you mean just write it without compression? Let's see. Right now in the Arduino version, the ArduBoy version of Circuit Dude, I've already pre-compressed everything. So I would have to decompress it and then convert it to a different format, and then compress it, not compress it, but then convert it to a data file, and then get rid of the expand map function if I wanted to do that route. Write out each character to a Okay, Raj is saying possibly write each value to a he says, well, each value is a byte, so it should write straight out, or convert it to a car. Just convert each value to a car, then write it out to a file. Yeah, I'm not really understanding what you mean by that, man. When I had this problem the other day, I was thinking maybe Raj will help. No, I was thinking later on I'll figure this out, but now I'm like at the point where I should probably figure it out. But there's so much other fun stuff to do that we instead. But we really have to draw the levels properly if we want to be able to move on to gameplay. Hmm. What if I just did this? What if I did some sort of walking back to see if maybe I can reverse the effect of walking too far forward? So maybe instead of walk, we'll call it walk back. Wait, you came up with something? Let's hear what it is, man. Oh, inclusive? Change the step to... Oh. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I think you might be right with this. Ha. So smart, man. Let's see. That's gotta be it. That's gotta be it. How do I overlook that so much? Like that kind of, this kind of little small stuff. Little small things. 300. Okay. Perfect. Levels are drawn beautifully. Look at that. Thanks. Yeah, it's never inclusive in C. As well as a few other languages too, but right on, man. Thank you. I wonder where else I'm doing that. Oh, you see here for the levels to draw them? I don't draw them outside the bound. I like for some reason knew it was inclusive here, or just guessed it. I don't think I do that anywhere else. Excellent, man. Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay, so the levels and stuff are moving. We got animation. We got levels scrolling through properly. You can kind of see how the levels become to get more complex as we go through the game. Eventually they get really, really weird. Let's see. We have in this version of the game for Circuit Dude, the most recent 3.0 update, I actually included some of these little teleportation pads. They're really cool. So I think we could go ahead and go towards movement. I want to try to do movement, like with the buttons. I'm gonna do like arrow keys if I can. I want there to be some on-screen buttons, but also the up and down arrows down here. And I think some later Palm Pilots have a four directional pad, like a D-pad, but kind of there's a button in the middle, so I think it's called a 5-button direction pad. See if I can find an example just to verify that. Yeah, something like this. So it has 4 directions and a button in the middle. So I want to be able to support that. And I think I found some source code earlier that used that. Is it called 5-way or let's see, 5? Direction. Okay, well, let's just look this way. Look for a down button. And it's kind of annoying because what is this? Special meanings given to characters by pop-up. Okay. If I try to search for button or something, like down button, I might come up with like holding down a button or a button on screen being pushed. So I'm sure in the source code we can find some simple examples. Key down event, and there's an ASCII code associated with it. Huh. Pin up event type. Let's look at this real quick. Pin down event. I'll copy this. Look in here. So there is a pin down event. These are all the events it looks like. Pin down, pin system event key down. So I'll include one of these, and I'm going to go ahead and do some sort of direction function. Yeah. I'll basically have a variable that will be set to the direction. And remember, we have here, where's that at? We have some constants defined for each direction, right? No? Where are those at? Oh, well, I don't really use them yet. But yeah, so here they are. So up, down, left, right. And I'll have an integer for input direction. Integer. And in this event handler, I'll basically set the variable based off of keys, maybe virtual keys if there's some sort of virtual buttons we have to consider, and then like on-screen buttons. And then we'll read this variable, of course, later on to move circuit dude around. We'll like decrease or increase X and Y. Let's see. Well, I actually did not want to get rid of that. Development. No, not that. Documents. Documentation. Pascal. Let's see, system key down event. That's not there. We could search that in this source code though, right? Nope. System key down event. Is there a key down event, some other kind? A modifier. Modifier keys? Oh, wait a minute. key down event type. When is that used? Key down. This is a kind of a bizarre format. Case integer of. I'm not sure how to read this Pascal. Event pointer. Okay, let's see this. Let's see this. We have with event do case e type of oh, wait a minute. Yeah, we did case up here, but we didn't do the with. That's weird. I wonder what this with is supposed to mean. Does it mean this? Is that the same thing? Let's try. Just to test. Ordinal expression detected. I guess not. Event type. Let's look up events. Event handler callback routine takes a pointer to an event structure and expects back a boolean. Two types of question already defined: event pointer and event type. Record e type. With event do case e type of I mean, this seems like it would have been a great example, but this only shows how to get and use the e type of the event. It doesn't necessarily tell you the event, I guess the modifiers. Pass parameter must remain, okay. So we have this event type, event pointer, the e type. Oh, wait a minute. I think we could do okay. I think this record is a struct, so we can access the e type of the event type or e type of the event, which means maybe we can say like with event to case, I don't know what it's called. Yeah, that doesn't seem helpful. What's another one? Data. Key down event type. So maybe dot case of, and then I can say Car? Where was it at? Yeah, key down event type. And has a CHR associated with it. Key code. Case key code of, and now I need to find a key code. Cars top. This seems like it might be what I'm looking for. Let's up page up. No arrow. Yeah, here we go. Up arrow character. CHR up arrow. Let's see if that works. Then, if that's the case, begin and input direction is going to equal up. Okay, let's see what where that gets us. Constant and case types do not match at 220. So constant and case types do not match. So this and this. Pin down event, let's look for that. It's called sys pin down event. Sys event pin down event. Sys event key down event. So let's remove that part. See if the same naming convention will just work for us. And it looks like it might have. Wow, so 223. So with event do case key code of. What I would expect is like event key code, but I don't think Pascal has anything like that for structs. But we can check the record right here on page 10. Okay, record. So data record equals record, blah, blah, blah. Example of its use, begin with G, do begin. So you have to say with. This is kind of like Game Maker in a way. So let's get this with event do. Maybe I don't even need with event because I'm already inside of a with. 222 on 18. Unknown identifier. Maybe key code isn't in there. Dated by case. Do you think you can access it with a period? Case event dot data dot key code. I did see data there, but build identifier expected on number 29 right here. I wonder if I can do this with do. course, I can't forget the end. So 223. So it looks like 220. I'm having an issue on 223, which means 222 actually worked. I wonder if I could just say with data. I think that would also work. Yeah, that also works. But I wonder if key code for some reason. This event. Yeah. Oh wait, actually key down event type right here in sys event. It's lowercase, it has a CHR and modifiers. Key down. Data.keydown.keycode. $224. Oh, hey, that worked, Raj. That worked. So I could do this also, right? Okay, so it is hanging up on this issue on 224. So CHR up arrow is somewhere else. Car up arrow car. Old names for some of the characters, huh? Remove the with data do. Wait, remove what data do? So just do this. Yeah, I guess that works. I guess we could also do this up here too. I don't really like the width. I don't like that syntax at all. Okay, so 221. $222 now. Perfect, perfect. Okay. So I still need to figure out where the car up arrow is located. Let's see. This is a value, a constant value inside of cars. And so unknown identifier. I wonder if I can say cars, but I think I might need to use cars, or maybe it might already exist. Up arrow. Yeah, let's see. That's the old name. Yeah, still having the same issue. But maybe the up arrow car is used elsewhere. Nope. Special meaning given to characters by Palm OS. Character separator. Interesting. So it doesn't know about this. Maybe I need to actually do this. Oh yeah, so I used cars here and it used that unit, I guess. That's the first time I've ever used one myself without kind of copying and pasting it from somebody else. So, well, I actually, I think it worked, but I did nothing with it. So up arrow. So input direction equals up. In the gameplay loop, let's see. What I want to do is here, I'll say if input direction does not equal to here, and that's one thing I didn't really show earlier, is that here is equal to 4, I think, right? Star up. Where do I define that? I have an up, down, left, right, and stay. And so I have all these different, I guess, movement options. So for now, we can just do up, down, left, and right, and stay. Not here, but stay. For being 4, it's going to be 4. Okay, so, and then whenever we load the map, or load level, we want to make sure that input direction is going to equal stay. So you're not doing anything, you're just staying in your own spot. And if it does not equal to stay in the gameplay loop, then we're going to figure out what it is. So case stay, case input direction of 1, up. Dude y equals to dude y minus 1, and then down shoot, you know what? Yeah, this is fine for now. This is not how it's going to end up, but for now this is fine. So up is going to be y minus 1, down will be y plus 1, and left will be minus 1, and right will be plus 1. Okay. And then we'll do input direction equals to stay. And so that means he should stay put. All right, so that worked, or that compiled, I should say. Oh, what if I do up? Nope. That. What if I, can I do graffiti? Nope. So let's do this as well. So up arrow, down arrow, CHR. This might be these might be Palm Pilot keyboards that these codes are referring to, like this. Or it might be the up and down arrows on the Palm Pilots themselves. So I'm not sure how to test that. Basically, I want to tell my Palm Pilot, hey, there's more hardware available. But well, let's look for some more character codes. Left arrow, symbol left arrow, symbol left arrow? Characters in the 9 point, oh, these are for fonts. Oh, so cars defines the characters in fonts. So this might not be, this might be just like a literally an up arrow character. We don't want that. We want to do a key code, right? So let's go back looking for key codes. It says a uint16. So where are those defined? The following key code ranges are reserved for use by licensees. Qualcomm, Motorola, okay. Yeah, so I don't think carries is what I want. But how can there not be any source code for key code? What's the other? Car? Key down event type. Sys event type. Key down. Let me look up direction. We might need to actually look up the Palm Pilot API stuff. Palm Pilot key code. Oh, you know what? Sys key down event. Let's look up this. Let's see what appears. So it does have a key code, virtual key code, ASCII code, a W car. What if instead of key code, I just did CHR? 230 unknown. Really? What does it say? On line 230 unknown identifier. Oh, CHAR. Ah, look at that. I did it. I did it. And what are you saying? You're saying key bit page up, key bit page down? Yeah, it looks like right now I only use the virtual keys. Like, see, if I go to click the these arrow keys, nothing happens. So you're saying key bit page up. See, have you seen the key mgr.ps? Let's look up that. Key bit. Yeah, it looks like nobody's really using these keys for anything, so I don't know how to check them. What the heck? Good find, good find. Button on cradle. That's like the hot sync button. Definition of bit field return from key current state. Key rates, key current state. Do I just call this? I just use key manager and call this? I'm not using that. And I'll say key current state for up. I'll jump out of this case right here real quick. I might as well just put the left and right arrows as well. Up, down, left, right. Left, right. Okay, and so I'm thinking I might need to do something like this. If key current state, then be input direction is up. Boolean expression detected. Expected. Okay. Let's just do this real quick. Okay, let's see what this returns. It returns a uint32. This now updates every tick, even when more than one key is held. So I don't think it actually returns any, I don't think it takes anything. You say this. Okay. Boolean expression expected. Is this not right? So this says it's a function. Get the current state of the hardware keys. 2 and 3 are going to be left and right, so I'll go ahead and do that as well. But okay. Let's try that. Good idea, Raj. Well, yeah, Boolean expression expected. So we know we're going to get a zero, an integer from this function, but key rates, set key mask. Create key current state. Let's see if anything uses that. Nope. Systrap key current state. So could look that up. Return 0 if no error. No wait, see also this, okay. Returns bit filled with bits set for each key that is currently pressed. So it takes nothing and it returns this. So what we need to do based on this information is say this. I mean, is it possible we have to do this? On line 247, expecting a closed parenthesis. Okay. Well, I guess while I think about that a little bit, one of the things that was going wrong with moving circuit dude around with the virtual keys was that he was being duplicated, it seemed. And that was because when he would move, he was still drawn before in the previous spot. So what we need to do is create another procedure called draw map tile, and basically give that two variables, an x and a y variable. And inside of that, we'll basically do this. Basically do this. And then we can call that draw map tile function, or procedure, I'm sorry, from here with x, y. And we'll do this draw map tile, anytime we move circuit dude, input direction, let's see. If input direction does not equal to stay, then we're going to move circuit dude, and then also draw the map tile of where circuit dude used to be. So draw map tile dude X and dude Y. So basically we'll erase where he was. Let's try that real quick. 133. Oh, I see. Draw map tile. I use continue right there. So it actually will be a function, I think. And it'll return a Boolean. And instead of continue, we'll say exit. Well, actually, we don't even need to. Yeah, we'll just do exit. No, that's not true. How are we going to do this? Let's do the erase function at this tile. Yeah. We'll do this. So this will actually erase whatever was there. Yeah, just like that. Unknown identifier 137. Unknown identifier. Oh, tile. The bitmap pointer. Okay. Oh, 164. Where are we at? We don't need to do a function for that. Expected. $257. Okay, back to this problem. Let's get rid of this real quick. Just test this out. Okay, up. Oh no, it doesn't erase. Oh wait, yes it does. If the tile existed. Okay, draw static. We want to actually, we don't want to exit because we still want to erase. We could move this code here and always erase. Yeah. Boom, baby. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. All right, now let's get these hardware buttons working. Ha! That's awesome. That is freaking awesome. So cool. So cool. All right, let's get these hardware buttons working. So current key state, let's make sure that I'm using key manager just in case. Key manager. Okay, current key, what is it called? Key state? Key current state, okay. Man, I think if we can get this hardware button working, I would say it's been a really good stream. Key current state for Palm Pilot. I feel like this has a good amount of results. Okay, that document did nothing. But actually, this is a document that I've never seen before. What is it? C++. Key current state. Part 1. Is this part 2? I wonder if I can change ref 2 up here to ref. Oh, ref 1. Oh, sweet. Look at that. I'm a hacker. Hey Dindy, what's up, man? Dude, check our status. Look at this. We got it to where we can scroll through levels. Look at them. There's some basic animation for some of them. And have it to where we can move around. I mean, there's no checking to see if you're allowed to move where you're trying to move, but yeah, this is some big progress for today. There's part 3, Galactic Discat. Dindy, I think right now what we're trying to do is we can move around with the arrow keys, but that's like if you have another keyboard attached to the Palm Pilot. But there's also keys that are on the device itself down here, and I want to be able to move around with those. Oh, Raj, that's totally cool, man. If you missed it, like I just explained to some other folks, but you can move around with the arrow keys, and Circuit Dude's no longer being drawn multiple times. You've never seen a Palm Pilot, Dindy? Are you Russian? Can I ask, are you Russian because of your name? They're really popular in the United States. Well, a long time ago, like many years ago. So we're looking right now for, oh, Brazil, okay. Yeah, I think this was more for certain countries. But I've seen some Japanese people with them too, and I didn't know that they were in Asia at all. I knew they had some in Korean though. Yeah, so I think the keyboard attachment will work. Yeah. So we're still looking for this key current state thing though. Dindy, so the Palm Pilot was more for like business people, business type folk. So it's like everything an iPhone would do, but not be a phone and not really connect to the internet. There were some Wi-Fi devices that you could get to connect to it, and some keyboard peripherals. So there's all sorts of different models. Some of them even had color. So you could see where this could kind of grow into something like the iPhone eventually over time. And they had all sorts of accessories like keyboard. Let's see. Well, there's there's not many pictures right here that I think really show that, but there was some cool stuff that you could do with it. There was an actual phone accessory for sure. Hey, Galactic this cat, have you ever used this function before, key current state? And if you have, let me know. I guess I would like to do the hardware buttons with this. Dindy, it's because whenever I was a kid, the first game system that I ever got, not game system, the first like handheld touchscreen system that I ever got was a Palm Pilot from my stepfather. And that was like the first time I ever decided that I wanted to program was whenever I got that, because it didn't really have a lot of games for it, and I thought maybe I could make something cool. And then I found out that people had been making games for it, and I wanted to learn that, so I tried to, but I never really came up with anything like fun or exciting. Like the stuff I made, I thought was cool, but like I showed it to my friends, they'd be like, "Oh, that's really cool," but then that was it. There was no gameplay to it. It was just kind of like a hello world and like maybe a button or two that you could press. But like I've always kind of dreamt of like coming up with a game for this device, and now that I'm older, I figure might as well make a game for it and kind of complete the circle and like live my dream or something. So that's kind of my motivation for making a game for it. Yeah, I don't think that this document's gonna be too helpful. It just basically says exactly what I already knew. It returns a D word or like an integer that we could check, and then it takes nothing. But I wonder if maybe we could do this, just to see what happens. Ooh, it worked! Whoa, Raj, did you see that? I just removed the parentheses, and it worked. Oh man. Oh, it compiled. I shouldn't say it worked because I don't know if it worked or not yet, but we'll see. Noble motivation. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Ah, look at that. Yeah. Okay, so that does work. Sweet. I am so happy, man. I'm gonna go ahead and do application 2 and 3 to get left down or left and right working, and we'll call it a night if that works. What is it called? Application 2. Oh, hard 2, my bad. And hard 3. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I do 2 is left and 3 is right, I should be able to navigate left and right, up and down. Okay. Oh, I guess it didn't work. What's the hardware button if it's not? Is it this? No. I wonder if I have to cancel these events for the hardware buttons so that they're not fired and I can use them for something else. Let's see if there's any kind of info on that. Oh, actually, I think what I need to do. What? App stop. Let's just check this real quick. Let's just force quit to be false if oh, actually no. Can I do continue? Will that erase the event type? Okay. Because I think the buttons launch another application and it tells Circuit Dude to close. So I think if I do that, I'll prevent it from closing. Nope, did not work. Well, I think this is a great place to stop the stream. Moving it around is pretty cool. We don't necessarily need the left and right buttons working right now because we can move around with those keys for testing purposes. But yeah, guys, if you are still with me, and several of you are still chatting and stuff, I appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to me already on YouTube, please do so. It's youtube.com/crate, and you can see it, let's see, right there underneath me. And as well as Twitch and Mixer. So twitch.tv/thecrate and mixer.com/thecrate. All the VODs, the video on demands, are going to be on YouTube. So you can go back and rewatch any episode or watch the progress from the beginning to the end, or just toss it on in the background whenever you're working and doing something else. I would really appreciate it. And right now I'm simultaneously casting to multiple systems, multiple platforms. So whichever one has the most engagement on it, that kind of tells me which platform to kind of focus more on. So whichever one you like to use, please focus on that one, or subscribe on that one, follow on that one, and then make sure you just say howdy when you stop by and let me know that you're using that one. So Raj says key set mask might help, but that needs further looking into. I don't know about that. I think I read earlier that function basically ignores certain keys for the system key event. Yeah, so I think it just looks to see if it generates a key down event. So you could, in theory, prevent the user from accidentally clicking a button, but I don't know if that would if that would do anything. But we can look into it later. Right now, I think we're at a good stopping point. What I'm going to do between now and the next stream is get more animations in. I think I'm going to try to get all of them in so you don't have to sit there, watch me on Paint or Photoshop, export the photos or bitmaps. But we got some already, so if you're following along, you can kind of view what I did and in your own project. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for the night. So I really appreciate you guys stopping by, and I'll see you